Boy, it's a good one, folks. It's a good one. Welcome back to the Code Chronicles. It is your lovely host, Pags. Guys, I'm wearing the same clothes as yesterday. I'll be honest with you. I'll be 100% transparent. I've been just on a mission, on a complete grind. We're talking 12 to 14-hour days of just writing software, focused, like just wired focused, and it's showing. It's showing. I've got the Stripe webhook working proper. I'm pulling in the metadata, so I'm already pre-populating the user ID and the user email, so they don't even have to enter the user email. I've got this amazing sidebar thing. I don't know how well the screen recording is going to show the visual shimmer effect. It's looking proper, guys, and let me show you. And I'm looking at the tiers right now, so I've got my free tier for this user, and then if I go through the Stripe process, it should update that to a premium membership. I'm having small reactivity issues, but this shimmers too. It's a really, really pretty application, guys. So still some minor stuff I need to do. I need to get the image right here. But you can see, boom, email right there, already pre-populated. So all my users need to do is just literally pop in their credit card information. Boom, boom, and boom. Pay. It should upgrade the account. Let's see. Let's see if it does it. Let's see. We saw it at the top of the screen. It was a free tier account. Let's see if it upgrades to a premium. We'll see. Membership null. Come on. Oh no. What's going on? Oh no, folks. We've been redirected. Okay, let me refresh. Let's see. Oh no, folks. Premium. Boom. We jumped the gun a smidge though. There's obviously a small bug there, but that is pretty cool. So let's try it with a different account. Let's run through this. Let's clean this up. That'll be today's episode. It'll be a quick deal, but I've got all these little shimmering effects, got a 3D deal, got the gradient looking proper. It's just, you know what I mean? I'm getting pretty stoked. I'll be honest, guys. I did a lot of using context on, let me show some of that actually. So I have this auth context. I'm wrapping the entire application with this auth context. And I had some user issues. You could see if the that Stripe checkout had some sort of user mounting issues. So hopefully we can fix that as well. It really should have been fixed though because of that auth context. So I'm wondering why it wasn't. But let's try it again. We have a free tier membership here for this user, and let's go to upgrade. Just so pretty. I could skip this step and just send them straight to the Stripe portal, but I might keep it just so if there's like different tiered memberships, if there's, hey, here's like a basic version, here's like a team version, here's an enterprise version, I'll put them all on that screen more than likely. So just entering random numbers just to get it done. Okay, let's see, folks. So the webhook's firing off. I'm creating a session, which is this Stripe session right here. And then I pull in the webhook, and I pull in all that data in the webhook. Okay, so we just got back here. I saw an error here. Error cannot read. Oh, there's a Redis issue. So maybe it's a Redis issue. Let's think about it. So boom, we pull in all this data, the user ID, the user session, and then I update the subscription in my database to a premium subscription. So it looks like we have an issue here though on coming back to the application after the Stripe checkout is successful. But then we refresh, I think it fetches and works. So I wonder if it has something to do with this. Here, this app URL. Oh, looks like it's not working. All right, folks, we jumped the gun a little, but let's see. It should load now because it popped up with the data there, boom. So it did update to a premium user. I am going to hard code this in real quick. Let's see if that'll fix the issue. Yeah, guys, but I have just been on a mission getting this stuff handled. There's other like just like back-end boring bugs and things that I was working on. So there's a check portal or check for projects when a user logs in. Before they log in, if they're a new user, I send them down a different flow. And then if they have projects, I send them to the dashboard. So if you don't have a project, you need to go make a project first, and then I send you to the application. So let's see. We're gonna do some Webpack issues. Let's see. So I thought I figured out whatever this situation is, where the user, whenever they're landing, is automatically checked. Automatically, I populate all the information. I thought that's exactly what the user context or the auth context did. So I'm pulling up DevTools. Let's see, but I must be missing something on return. So let's go to the Stripe webhook real quick. I'm going to get this user ID, and then I'm going to trigger a completed session, and I'm going to upgrade or downgrade their account to free tier. So let's try it again. We're going to log in. You'll see though, the URL up here, it turns into check for projects. And what it does right now, it's a little bit slow with everything going on too, with the logic and mic recording and screen recording. But right now it's checking for projects just to see if this user has any projects. If it does, boom, send them to the dashboard. If not, still send them to the dashboard, but then send them to the sign up flow. So let's see, should be a little bit quicker than this, but boom. And then when you land on the dashboard, everything's already loaded. You already have access to all of your projects. Everything's already populated. Boom, boom, boom. It's all already on the application. So I kind of use that as a splash screen to cover for all the fetching and all that stuff. But I don't necessarily have to do that because we're using server components as well. So let me go ahead and trigger oh, it's not going to work because I need the user ID. Okay, so I'm just going to hard code the user ID into this webhook real quick. It should downgrade this user's account into the free tier. Let's see if it's worked. I think it has. Let's change. So maybe I need some sort of watcher to always watch the membership. But really the Stripe webhook should always do that. And then the second a user goes to a different page, they should be refetched. I think I'm always watching for it anyways, because I have a use user hook or a use post user hook, which checks if the user exists in my database. Yeah, so we'll look into that hook. I think that's part of the problem, but we should see it downgrade to a free tier here in a sec. Just give it a moment to load or not. Okay, let's see. So I was so pumped, and now I'm like, dang it, guys. Dang it, we're dealing with bugs. But the good news is something is coming together, which is awesome. So let me put this user ID back and put the premium membership back to normal. Let's try to sign out and sign back in as this user. I think it did update their membership, but I'm not getting the user for some reason. So let's go to this use post user on mount hook. Maybe it's because there's no user ID, but there always should be. Whenever I'm in the application, there always should be a user ID because I pass it from clerk. Clerk always has the user ID, always. Guys, I'm in love with this project. It's slowly turned into my baby. It is slowly turned into my baby. So we were this account. Let's log back in and let's see. Boom, so user ID, here it is. We're checking for projects now. If there's projects for this user, do what you need to do. And how I do that, let's see. Actually, I don't know if I'm doing that anymore. I might have taken it out for a bug that I was handling in app layout. Okay, so boom. Why is my user not fetched at this point? Because I have the user ID, so I need everything else. I need the membership. I need the subscription. So let's see if I go to the user provider. This might be something to do with why. Sure, I'm sure that's actually exactly why. There was something wrong with it. But the problem here is if I keep it in the use effect, it's always going to keep updating. But I need it to watch the user profile for any changes. how to handle this. It really should just, well, let's see. Let's go to the user store and see what's going on with this get user function. So current state user ID. Where do I get the user ID? The current state user ID. I think it's from the clerk user bridge. Use user. I see. Okay, so in here in the clerk user bridge, this was kind of a hacky workaround on getting the user profile into ZooStand, but we're going to do something a little different. So I'm going to get the user. Well, let's see. I'm going to get use context from React. I'll just pull that in. Actually, here I'll say const user ID equals use context, which is a snippet that takes in. It's a custom hook that takes in a context or provider. I forget. One of the two. We'll see. And I should have the user ID here. Instead of relying on state, I should get it from the context. So I don't think it comes from the provider. I think it comes from the context then. Let's try. That looks about appropriate. Say any right here. Oh, because I think that's part of the problem is the use user hook from clerk for some reason doesn't always, it's like asynchronous, right? It doesn't work all the time. But the user ID should be distributed in the entire project. I'm gonna put this user profile back so we're not stuck in an infinite loop on that. Let's see, should be good there. Sorry guys, the very first thing, I promise when we get to the money, the very first thing I'm buying is a new computer. I promise you. Okay, so user ID, let's see, user ID, user store. Where does, oh, I'm passing that in. I just need a example of using the hook. Just so I could see how I did it. Let's see, user ID, here it is, boom. User ID, use context, and then I use the auth context. Okay, so that's what we have, use context, and then we use the auth context. Let's import React, that, boom, console log, user ID, and then we should set that here in the bridge. So now ZooStand should always 100% have the user ID. Boom, we just saw it. Set user ID. Let's see how to do this. Use user store, user ID. Oh, I see. Boom. Okay, so down here, instead of using user.id, which is coming from the use user hook, I'll show you guys if we get lucky. We'll see that it does not work some of the time. So let's see, boom, user, I'll throw a little ternary or conditional render there. We can get rid of the console. And I will put this user ID to be the one that is provided from clerk's auth instance, not their use user hook. The use user hook, for you have to await it, sync await it, and I don't want to do that obviously here. So boom, undefined. Here's a great example. So the user's logged in, but we're getting undefined for the user ID, which is messing up the user store because the user store is fetching for an undefined user in the database. And I think that's why it was such a problem. I think. It's my theory. I don't know if it's true or not, but every time we were getting the user, then the user wasn't being fetched because the get user function, I have it self-contained handling. I have it fetching the user that's logged in. So I don't have to pass it a user ID. Maybe I should change that. Maybe I could, but it should just be the user ID set from the clerk user bridge. If not, we will just pass it in. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I'll just do that. But it really should be set at least when it's in the in-app layout and our users logged in. So let me try to log back in. Let's see if we can kind of figure this out. See if we can figure it out live. Debugging live debugging. Because I put it at the top of the screen, the user ID from the auth provider or the auth instance. So I know I always have it and it's always there because every time I log in the application, boom, I now have the user ID. There should always be a user ID associated with the session. So current state user ID, something's not getting set proper then. So I think what I'll just do is if So I can pass in the context here. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's just say const use context. Boom. So we see free tier at the top. And I will say, what was it? Auth context, I believe. Guys, this is how you know I don't pre-record my stuff and like I don't have like a side screen planned with all. It's live right now. It's just, you know, figuring it out as I go, right? Figure it out as I go. So we'll accept an argument here, user ID string. We will put that into our hook. So that should handle that. Current state, I don't think I need in here anymore. I don't. And then I need to set this function to accept user ID. I just wanted to make it clean for some reason. Like I didn't want to have to fetch the project. I wanted it all to handle itself. But I think this will still handle itself. It's just a little different, right? So let's see, use context. What is going, oh, I need to import it. Let's try this one more time. And then finally, I need to make that a string. These components are really clean. They're tiny, they're really manageable. You can hear how late it is. I was done typing a year ago and then it finally worked. But guys, I am so pumped and to wrestle with Stripe and to get the email pre-populated in there and the user ID in that session. You don't know how long I was wrestling for. You don't know how long. Okay, so we're free tier. Let's try it out. Let's see how it goes. We'll consider revamping this clerk user bridge in a moment, and maybe just completely deprecating it, because if I'm passing the user ID in, yeah, I don't need a bridge of any sort. So at least I don't believe so. So I'll double check that. I don't think I'm doing anything. I think it's just getting everything at ZooStand. But if I just do the in-app layout and then use the post user mount and populate ZooStand, that should be the same thing. So let's see, let's go to our sessions. So here's our webhook and here's our session. I'll put the session on the right. So this session gets created when I get on this screen. I could also create it technically when they click the sidebar and then just send them straight, as I mentioned, straight into, straight into the checkout flow or the checkout screen. But as I mentioned before, if I have multiple memberships, they're going to need to decide which product they're selecting here. And this is how I would probably do it. So how I do it here is I get obviously the user ID. Yeah, I can go to base Stripe, I believe it is, and I'll just pop the user ID on screen. So let's see, user ID. I always like to do this. Let's see if that pops up, user ID. Boom, there it is. And then we also need the user email, which may not pop up because we're already in the instance. It needs to be passed in still. So let's see, email, boom, but we need both when going to the Stripe custom session. Well, actually, we don't need both, but we definitely need the user ID every time. So that's why I did that auth context and auth provider thing, and pull the user ID from the auth session. Because yeah, I always, no matter what, always need the ID. I guess I could technically get away with not having the email, but I definitely need the ID. So let's see how to get this email real quick. User first name, user email. That's what it is. Okay, so user email, boom, boom, boom. Okay, so this should pop up here any moment. And then we'll put a line break so we can see them clearly. And sometimes I do this all the time when I'm just, trying to figure out a component or something, because it's just very easy for me to visually see. I don't know how some engineer, like my buddy Chester, is just so smart. He'll sit there and just be like, what do I need to do? And he'll just know where everything is. So I know I'm not getting the email here, but boom, there it is. It did pop up. But if we go to the path from the dashboard into Stripe, it should always be there, because the user provider that I set up, the user context and the user provider, when you land on the application, it fires off to go get all those extra details. So the details I definitely always have and realistically, I guess I could get the email from the auth instance as well, because typically you log in with an email. So right now I have the email and the user ID, and then boom, when I go to this Stripe instance, boom, in the session, I'm pulling in the user ID and the email. So that already gets pulled in right away. That already is getting fired off on Stripe. Whenever this is loaded, I fire off that post function. The handle payment should actually be on a use effect, right? Right here. Oh, well, I'll have to clean that up. Hold on. Click. So this session happens right here. The email should be fired off. The user ID and user email should be fired off. And this sets the Stripe session. And then when I come to, let's exit out of that. And let's exit out of that, give us a little more space. And when I come to the Stripe webhook, I should now have the user ID associated to the session and the user email. So when I go to the Stripe custom page, I pre-populate the email. So boom, it's right there. And that way the customer also can't, like, not that they mess it up, but they can't, like, let's say I'm logged in as this email, but then when I go to checkout and I'm like, oh, I'll put in a like random email. It's like, no, I need it to be associated to this account. So technically you don't need the same email, but it just keeps it easier. But I definitely need the same user ID. That's undeniable. So you can see running happening. And then if I go through the checkout flow, let's go ahead and do this. Boom, 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 one more time. See if we fixed our bug. And we should see the user ID pop up right here. It should be user something, 2V, boom, boom, boom. So perfect. And that worked great. Let's see if it now updated the premium user. It should. And then obviously with that, I'm gonna give different functionality, different features, depending if someone's on free tier or a premium tier. If you're on a free tier, I'll probably give you like 20 tasks or something that you're allowed to make, and maybe like 2 projects. Or maybe I'll just consolidate all the tasks between all your projects and you're only allowed 50 or something. So let's see, we land back on the page. This is the problem. Oh, boom, there it is, premium. Folks, that is awesome. That is so cool. So it worked great. Let's downgrade this user. So what I could do is go to the Stripe, what's it called? So now I changed this. Instead of a Stripe portal of upgrading, you actually go to a Stripe portal to manage your billing. And that also fires off a cancel webhook if you cancel, but I have to, well, I guess, yeah, maybe let's see. So I set that up down here as well, where invoice payment failed, a charge refunded, or customer subscription updated. And if they update their subscription, I look for a cancel. If they don't, maybe they're renewing. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna pop this off screen and open up my email. So let me send, let's see if this works. And I think there's a way to go straight to the billing portal as well here, but I was having issues with it. So let's see if it works though. If not, I will chalk it up on the to-do list because that has to be done. Customers undeniably need to be able to manage their accounts. So here is, where did it go? Boom, Team Syncer right here, boom, log in. So you get this email and you should go to a Stripe billing screen. Let me just leave the email. And here it is, but I'm having an issue now because it's a different session or something. So I'll have to figure that one out, but it was working earlier. And then I don't know if because I changed it from a pricing table to a custom session, something got messed up. So I'm gonna downgrade this way, just a easy peasy way where I'm hard coding in the user, I'm firing off a checkout session completed, but instead of upgrading, I'm just downgrading. So boom, that should downgrade this user. And then if I go to the projects, let's see if it changes. Okay, so that is a problem because they need to, whenever they downgrade on a free tier change, it needs to change. But I know when I refresh, it'll then update, I think. So that's not horrible, right? Like, I guess technically when you log out or something, I could force a log out every day or every week or something. So that way a user can only get away with, free access for a day, but it really should just work. So boom, we got downgraded to free tier. Let me put the user ID back and let's get it back to premium tier. And I just want to try one more time and then we'll wrap up today. So I just wanted to show off also, just the progress and a little bit of this cool shimmering effect and stuff like that, because and of course, getting the user ID into the webhook for Stripe, that was a huge deal. I remember like 10 episodes ago, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do that, but got her done, guys, got her figured out, which has just been a lot of this process as a whole, is just figuring it out. You know what I mean? Just piece by piece it all together. So let's see, we're free tier and come on, baby, come on. And then the last thing I think I need to figure out, so I need to get the manage Stripe billing portal figured out, and then I need to get edge functions figured out so I can kind of do these serverless-esque functions for the application. Because right now this is all still on a local machine, but a lot of these endpoints don't work on the live version of TeamSyncer. So I need to get that done because that's literally the application. So boom, we're gonna try another Stripe checkout session. We get pre-populated with obviously beautiful loading screen, all that stuff. It's mobile responsive. Stripe crushes it. And then you can't change the email. It's the email that is associated to your ID and account, which is perfect. We'll go 424242, boom, and pay. Guys, this way too, I don't have to manage too many customer issues, right? When it's all like as streamlined as possible, majority of your edge cases are handled, right? Like majority of people would probably put in the email that they logged in with or signed in with, but you also may not get, like 20% of people might not. So it's not something I want to deal with and have to track down. So that was really important to get that pre-populated field. Boom, this is working great. So you can see the membership is premium, and then I could show premium features and premium functionality, or premium limitations and things like that associated to it. So last thing I need to handle is just that billing management situation. And then I think, guys, we're close. We're very, very, very close. So there's obviously going to be a ton of work still to do and a ton of functionality to still integrate and upgrade with. But I think the core of the application is coming together really, really strong. So very, very, very excited. I'm a little bit hesitant on how long the edge functions and serverless functions will take to integrate. That could take a little bit longer. I think the management thing, hopefully I can get done today, the payment management, but then reintegrating the Kanban endpoints, column endpoints, kind of the core content of the application is important, but all the SaaS managerial stuff I think is getting handled. So pretty exciting, guys, pretty exciting. And we have users, we have feedback. There's people that I can hopefully go to immediately who said they would pay a couple bucks a month for it. That's kind of the checklist, I think, is get the billing management handled completely. So iron out all the Stripe, and then serverless edge functions, any polish on top of that, and then I'm gonna release it to you guys and dump it out to the world and see how she goes. You know what I mean? So, but very, very, very exciting. So, guys, thank you so much for watching, and yeah, very, very excited. Thank you, guys. I will see you on the next one. Cheers.